All right. I love the countdown. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode number. What is the episode number, Addy?
204.
204. That's a lot of episodes. I am Pink Sparkle Puff, here today with Addy the Hero. Absent today is Alex, or W, whichever you may prefer.
Or the anti-Snitsky, as he's also known.
The anti-Snitsky, yes, this is true. Everything's his fault. And I am assuming Soon Dragon may or may not appear. I can never tell what he's up to.
Soon Dragon is, as of this moment, Soon Dragon is starring, Sir not appearing in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But he may decide to show up.
You cut out there on my end for a second. What did you just say?
I just said he may decide to show up later.
Yes, this is true. Very true. We could like end the podcast, be in call for like 2 seconds after, and he'll pop in and he'll be like, "Oh, hey, show's over.
Yeah,
everybody go home." But yeah, that's an intro, or intro enough.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go over what we got coming out on the channels this week?
Sure. Well, usually you start with that, so Pink.
This is true. So, hello, myself. Do I have anything coming out on my channel? Probably. I didn't record anything this week, to my knowledge, but I've still got a backlog of Dead by Daylight to fall back upon. So, expect episodes of that. Maybe some like short 40-second videos. I actually released one of those this Friday. They're just some funny moments I like to pluck out of the archives. Kind of deserve to stand on their own. Nobody watches them, but they're funny enough.
Yeah. That describes his channel, really. Nobody watches them, but they're funny enough.
Yeah. And that's all I should have coming out on my end, unless I go crazy with something else this week, which, might happen, might not. You never know.
Yeah. Well, on my end, I do have a couple of clips that I may want to upload at the same time. Like, usually when I record clips of video games, off of like out of actual recording, like when I use the PlayStation's built-in recording stuff, I just make 10-second clips because that's how you need to know. And I'm not sure if those should be posted, because it's like, it's just the funny thing happens and then goodbye. More or less.
Right.
So maybe I'll upload those to the second channel, maybe not. We'll see. Thing is, the moments are funny enough that if I am doing reviews on those games, which I'm not as of the moment, but maybe in the future, I will probably use those moments in those reviews because they're funny enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as for the reviews, time had not been kind. And I mean, I still have one that needs to be finished with the scripting, but I need to play the game more to actually have recent experience with the game. And then
understandable.
One of them is currently in editing hell. That needs to be done, but I didn't have enough time in the day to actually edit them, because like when I edit videos, that takes up the whole day. And I don't mean that just as in like editing takes that long, because it takes a couple hours, and rendering also takes a couple hours. But I mean that whenever, like, whichever day I decide to edit videos on, my PC is shut. It does not run at 100% after it. So I need to pick and choose. I need to pick and choose which days I actually edit, because if we're recording something, then chances are something's going to get lost.
Yeah, that sounds complicated.
And so I've taken to bulk editing stuff. But with how Google Drive has been a pain in your ass specifically, I had to split this most recent group up. And then there's also the thing of like, I'm running out of hard drive space, so I'm gonna have to do a quick cleaning on that as well. Things are just piling up, really. So reviews will happen. Like I am doing my best to actually get reviews done for once. Like for once in the last 4 years, but at the same time, I'm out of practice. I need some time to get used to it again. But yeah. So W, what's going on your channel? Cool.
He's got nothing. What a coward.
What are these days? Like if this internet issue persists, I'm gonna figure out how to make a W soundboard. So whenever I do that bit, I can actually just make him saying, "Oh well, the internet issues, Elon Musk." Just for the added flair. W may not be here in person, but he is here in spirit.
Always with us in spirit.
So anyway, the group channel. So on Monday, we have part 9 of Persona 5, which I actually I kind of like to have I titled this because it's on with a Tommy gun. Nice rhyme, kind of. Then on freaking oh boy, I'm mixing my days up. On Tuesday, for the first part of Dead by Daylight, like the first numbered part of Dead by Daylight, and on the same day, Smite part 9.5, which is
wait, part 9 and part 5? Did you just say
part 9.5, 9.5?
Oh, 9.5. I was like, wait a second, what? I don't get the joke. What do you mean 9 and 5? That makes no sense.
But yeah, I also like the title of that one because it's true. Even the bots beat us. And on Friday, episode 27 of Ratchet and Clank.
Very nice.
And that's it.
All right.
So, Pink, what have you done this week?
What have I done this week? Honestly, I've been going through a lot of the. Well, let me first start off by saying what I was playing this week. I was playing Smash Brothers, and I was doing the classic modes, which is just the kind of. I suppose it would be called a tower mode, where you just go stage by stage, beating the enemy and progressing to the next level.
Yeah, and then you fight Shao Kahn.
Yeah, kind of like those old classic arcade games or arcade fighters. Which, do they still do that nowadays?
Yes.
All right. Well, good.
Well, it depends.
Those are enjoyable.
It depends, Pink. So arcade mode still exists. It usually is the story mode as well, except now because of NetherRealm. There's this trend that everyone's doing like big cinematic story modes that suck ass. All of them.
Yeah.
Like NetherRealms are the best, but that's like saying that freaking putting frosting on a shit makes it better. Like yeah, technically, the frosting tastes good. The frosting tastes good, but there's still shit under it. Like
True.
But anyway, yeah. Freaking like yeah, that. And then arcade modes are usually still in, but they're mostly for games that can't afford a big cinematic story mode.
Right.
Or if they exist, like NetherRealm has enough money, and I commend them for it because because it's the best of both worlds when it comes to this. Because NetherRealm has enough money that they can just make a big cinematic story mode, and they also have an actual arcade mode with a proper tower, and then you get an arcade ending, which games like Tekken 7 skip out on because Tekken 7's arcade mode is 5 matches and there's no arcade endings, so it's useless.
Wow, that's really terrible.
Yeah, because they put all of the money into the big story mode, and there's also ghost battles. So why should arcade mode be anything but just ghost battles but worse?
Yeah, right. Makes total sense.
And then Street Fighter V also has a big cinematic story mode. Or at least Street Fighter V, if freaking got enough Sony money that they actually put in an arcade mode later, but that was added after launch.
Right. I remember something about that.
Both the story mode and the arcade mode were added after launch. The arcade mode of Street Fighter V is actually pretty alright. Like it's there's some like quality in it. Like I appreciate how much they went out of their way to actually make because they have arcade, like you don't just have a Street Fighter 5 arcade mode, you have on all of Street Fighter as a series arcade modes, so you can choose which game you want the game to mimic.
Oh,
Which I appreciate that they went through the effort of actually discerning just putting in small things that still make Street Fighter, like still let the game play in its own way, but at the same time like the boss characters and special characters and stuff like that still got to retain how they worked in their original showing.
right.
So anyway, Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, yeah. As we were saying, you kind of go through your little tower mode, and I've been trying all those out because they're a lot different than they were in previous Smash Brothers, where every character has obviously a different roster that they will be going up against, but also different, sometimes different types of battles they'll be doing. Like some characters, like Ken, for example, he's got a kind of a throwback in a way where his isn't doing the typical Smash Brothers thing of racking up damage percentages, then launching your opponent off the stage. They did a homage to Street Fighter where every match you will be participating in his arcade ladder, we'll call it, is a stamina battle. So that is just hitting your opponent to where their health will eventually drop to 0 and you win.
And then one of the fights is 4 DDDs, but they're the tires of a car.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, I've just been going through a lot of the different characters' classic modes just to see what everyone does differently. I've done like Kirby, I've done Mario. I did the Ryu thing because I was like, stamina, that sucks. I don't want to do that, but let's try it. And outside of Smash Brothers, obviously I played a lot of Dead by Daylight. I played that with you guys, and by guys I mean just the single Addy here and Alex if he was here. I played Dead by Daylight with you.
Yeah, all of you guys, implying me and all of the guys inside of me.
Yes, very true.
Take that as you may.
Take that as you may. You did it with Soon, Mike, Addy, and Alex, and it was a blasty blast. We also attempted to play Smite with Mike. That didn't go so well because he didn't download it and he forgot as well, and he was busy watching courtroom cases or something.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Kind of sad. Kind of sad. I don't think he'll like Smite at all, but I still want to see him do it.
I mean, I'm trying to push him towards Smite just because my PlayStation Plus is running out. And I don't need PlayStation Plus to play Smite.
Right. Very, very true.
But yeah.
You're really curious, once we do get him in the game, what his opinion will be.
Yeah. You know, there was one moment in the Dead by Daylight recording that I really liked, where you were...
Which was that?
When you were killer. We were in the basement. I went down to the basement to get the saw thing removed off of Bill. And then I start going upstairs. You follow me upstairs. You down me. And then I just yell, "Shut the fuck up. I just got the thing off of me. Get out of here." And you turn around and leave.
Yep. That was a good game. I also liked when I downed you that. Whoops! I just dropped my mouse. I downed you that one other time, and we were all talking like, "Oh, goodbye, Addy. It was nice knowing you. We'll see you on the other side." And then I hook you, and it's just your first hook.
Yeah.
that was such a great moment there.
Yeah, that video is coming out in 2 weeks, I believe.
I like it. And let's see. What else have I done this week? I don't believe I've done anything else this week. Obviously played some Civ, obviously played was there not something else I played with you guys this week?
I'm trying to
I don't think there was. I think it was just Smite. It felt like more.
Yeah, I
probably
think
because we spent like 8 hours playing the Dead by Daylight that one day.
Yeah. And then I think you're confusing it because we spent a lot of this week talking about For Honor.
Right. We definitely did not play For Honor though.
Yeah, we
Not playing
didn't.
For Honor again.
I mean,
At least I
we
hope
literally
not.
can't. We literally can't play For Honor.
Does that not have crossplay?
No.
Oh, we're saved.
Ubisoft is too cheap.
This is true. And I guess that wraps things up on my end. So, what have you done this
You're
week?
gonna have to fill in for me for a second. Give me a sec.
Yeah, no problem. I can go over like something else, I suppose. I'll talk about the Mario Arcade Classic mode, whatever I'm gonna call it now. So I thought that one was pretty cool because it's got you kind of going up against all the big Nintendo franchise stars from or in chronological order. So, you know, your Donkey Kongs, your Zeldas, your Links, your Fire Emblem characters, actually, which come a little later down the line. But it was confusing because they include Crom in the lineup, and he doesn't appear until like 2011 or something crazy like that. Actually, probably later.
Alright, I exist once more.
2015. All right, excellent.
What did I miss?
I was just talking about Mario's classic mode and his trials and tribulations, but I'm ready to move on because it's not important.
I mean, you can talk about it. You can finish your thought.
I'll finish my thought. Yeah, it was weird when I came across the Fire Emblem characters because it was a mixture of Marth, who comes out in 1994 or something crazy like that, and then Crom is included in the lineup, who came out in like 2015, which is very, very modern. So it's like I understood that they were going for the franchise just on a whole, but that still kind of irked me that it is such a chronological discrepancy there to have the OGs as well as the baby Fire Emblem characters. But that's just a personal complaint, which isn't even a real complaint or anything. It's just a kind of oddball observation. And that's all I had to say on that matter.
Alright. I would comment, but I missed out on some context, so.
Oh yeah, because you were disposed of. The context of that was I was just talking about the classic mode and how it has Mario going against the characters from all the Nintendo's big titles in chronological order. So you know you start with your Donkey Kong and work your way up to whatever the last one was, which I forget.
Arms.
Arms, probably. You're not wrong. Well, that was DLC, so it might not have been. But one of the final stages, second to last, if I'm not mistaken, was the Fire Emblem franchise, and that's why I was talking about that chronological discrepancy, because it's like, yeah, it's a franchise, but you've also got a bunch of newer characters mixed in here, and it's kind of throwing me off, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what's freaking Nintendo's newest like series that is freaking like popular. The Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah.
You think I'm joking, but you don't know how many people are horny for the dragon.
For the what?
The dragon.
There's a dragon in that game?
There's a big buff daddy dragon.
Buff Daddy Dragon, I like it.
That's how it was described to me. I mean, I've seen it, so it's not like it's just kind of stuck that way because that's how it was described to me.
Right. Oh wait, we played Terraria this week. That's what I was forgetting.
Oh yeah, we did. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I'm not sure why the big buff daddy dragon got me to think of Terraria, but it did.
That's the secret boss. Oh, but yeah, anyway. So, on my end, let's see. Well, to start with the short ones. I played a couple of fighting games this week, which were I mean, I can list them off for you, and I will, but you probably don't know any of these. But I
I
have
might know like one or two, maybe.
so I have played the King of Fighters 2000.
I've heard of that.
Garo Mark of the Wolves, which is also, I think, Legendary Hungry Wolf in Japan. Like Garo Densetsu, whatever. So yeah, that. And then also The Last Blade 2.
I've not heard of that one.
So, remember Third Strike? Remember the Street Fighter that had Gil?
Yeah.
Garo is SNK's Third Strike. It is the game with the time skip where they have all of the new characters and I think only one character returns from the original lineup. Everyone else is just a relative or someone similar. And it's also
Right.
also the one with the big flashy graphics and the interesting mechanics and stuff like that. But SNK was like, you know what? No, we make 50 fighting games a year. That's probably not true, but it's so close to true. at least it was true for pre first bankruptcy SNK. This is we're heading towards the third one, just so you know.
Oof.
But yeah, so instead of having just one Third Strike, they had two, because The Last Blade is a game that not many people over there know. I don't even know if many people over here know it, but I definitely do, and honestly, it's one of my favorite games from that era. I was hesitant on buying it again. I bought it recently just because it was on sale, which is why I'm running out of PS Plus. it was these or PS Plus, and there were plans to make it not be so, but the plans fell through.
Right, no problem. Money wisely spent, I would say.
So yeah, I played Garo and The Last Blade 2 when I was very small, and so I was hesitant on buying them again because, what if the games actually suck? And I just don't remember. I mean, for Garo, I knew that it didn't suck, but for The Last Blade 2, people don't usually cover it all that much. So I was like, well, maybe I just liked it because I was a small little baby, and the game is actually not good. But no, small little baby Eddie was right. The game is good.
Baby Eddie had good taste.
Yeah. And as for KOF 2000, it's not one of the big four. I think KOF has as a series. It's not one of the big four raid games in the series, but at the same time, it's because KOF used to be a yearly series. Which, imagine that, a yearly fighting game series, and they sold.
Yeah, that's actually very crazy.
That was the 90s. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So because it was a yearly series, they would try to change. I can't speak. Wow. So try to change bits and pieces to spice things up a bit. And KOF 2000's thing was adding in 4-man teams and strikers. So in KOF, you usually have 3-man teams where you select 3 characters and then all of them can take one round. So if you lose one bar of health, then that character is out until the next match.
Nifty.
Now in 2000, they upped it a notch, and they made it so you can choose 4 characters. And then when you select the order, you choose which 3 characters you want to use, and one of them is a striker like in Marvel.
Ah.
And this also meant that they have, I don't know, I want to say they have 10 teams or so. 10 teams of 4 characters, which is 40 characters plus 3 solo characters. And then every single character has at least 2 strikers you can choose between. Like some of them are not even the actual character you chose. You can do shit like I don't know, because you don't know any of the characters. I don't know who I could point at that would be really stupid. But like, for example, there's this very short guy who looks like who was modeled after Freddy Krueger. And if you choose him as a striker, you can choose between having him as a striker. You can choose between having a tall version of him, which is just very slim Freddy Krueger. You can have him as a striker, or you can choose one of the team leader's kids.
Oh.
And it just leads to very interesting ways to play the game. That like it may not be balanced really, or like it may not have like I don't know how good overall the setup is competitively, but casually playing through the game, it is kind of fun to try and figure out how to do combos while putting the strikers into them and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I discussed all of them because I don't know if you have any questions because you don't know any of these games.
Right, true. It's
You
hard
know,
for me to
one
ask
of them.
questions
We
about
have
us.
we have definitely played God together. I remember playing God against you.
Right. We might have played a King of Fighters together. Maybe even 2000. I don't recall.
No, we played 98.
Ah. Yeah, because they're yearly titles,
Yeah.
obviously. I was going to say, I remember the number being there, but then I just remember what the numbers indicate.
It's the 98 KOF. They went through sequels very fast. KOF is a funny series because they started off using numbers for the years, and then they went, you know what? No, this series has been going on for long enough, and then they just switched over to numbering the games after which game it is in the series.
I like it.
So this
It makes no sense, but I like it.
So this next one is KOF 15 because of that.
Of course it is. Why not?
The best part is that it's not even like that's genuinely the title of the game. It's not the King of Fighters 15. It's KOF 15. Everybody shortens it to KOF, so SNK just went, you know what? Yes. Actually,
you're right. This is a new name. We don't need to put the actual King of Fighters part in there. It's just KOF.
Yeah. Or at least they did that for the logo. I don't know. I don't think the actual name of the game did that, but the logo is the logo for the logo. They definitely just shortened it to KOF, and that's it.
Huh.
But yeah. Then I also played through Bioshock, the first one.
Ooh.
Bioshock's gameplay. I don't know what to say, honestly. I consider just leaving a big gap there and then just moving on to the story. But because I mean, Bioshock's gameplay is reminiscent of RPG games, but because I mean, it kind of I suppose it kind of is. I don't know. I wouldn't call it an RPG. Like that's the thing. For me, it doesn't hit the things that would make it an RPG.
Right.
But it's just janky and not great. Like that's basically why I'm saying that it is RPG adjacent. That it's janky and not very good feeling. Because like RPGs usually don't make their mechanics and all of that feel particularly great because they don't have to. Their main thing is just selling the story and being able to make your own character if they allow that, and just interacting with the world and stuff like that. Like that's their main focus. Making it so the walking around the town it feels good is not a priority.
Right.
Similarly, Bioshock feels like a game that was made for the PS2. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it feels like going back to playing Call of Duty World at War, Final Front on the PS2, which had fire on the bumpers and freaking throw grenade on the triggers.
Of course it did.
Like it just feels like it like honestly it might have, like that's the thing, it might have come before the FPS controls were standardized, but the biggest sin is that you can't remap them.
Oof. Oh yeah.
So it's like some of the things is what you'd imagine, like you fire with the triggers because that makes sense, but then you switch weapons with the bumpers, and then there's melee in the second game that's on circle. And jump is on.
I can't think of any game where you switch weapons with bumpers. That's just wrong.
Yeah, and melee is on B, the B equivalent, and jumping was on Y.
Ew.
and A is to interact as you would imagine, like that works, and X reloads, so that also works. But yeah,
Yeah.
and crouching is on L3 or L3. That was cool to
But
find out.
why?
I not think. I mean, melee didn't even exist in the first game. It was added for the second. Before then, B was just unused. At least as far as I know. So yeah, Bioshock's gameplay leaves things to be desired, in my opinion. Like it was fine for the time, maybe. I don't know. I didn't look up exactly when it came out, so it may be fine for the time. And it's not its
Right.
main selling point, so I can excuse it some. But yeah, the story is probably deep. I don't know. Like it's very political and stuff like that. Like it's very discussing the ideologies behind communism and capitalism and stuff like that, and how the two clash and why they clash. I guess maybe that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to escape this stuff like this in video games, so I have developed this thing, but I just turn it
This
off.
stuff is why I play video games.
I mean, like that's the thing. Like those discussions can be interesting. I'm not saying that the game is bad for it, but I have conditioned myself to just turn that shit off and just not notice it at this point. So even if I try, because like a part of it is that a lot of how this is conveyed is just through like people talking and like propaganda and just world building throughout the levels and stuff like that. And with some of these things, like the propaganda and the world building, especially the world building, it also depends on like how much value to you assign to the things being presented to represent something or other. Like is there I don't know, like is this revolutionary freaking saying painted in red because they wanted to catch your eye, or because they wanted to be communist? Like that kind of depends on you. Objectively speaking, regardless, they painted red to catch your eye because that's just that's just what red as a color does. But
True.
yeah, like it's like you can assign pretty much any meaning to anything. Like there's I have read some pretty nice readings about how Tetris is a representation of people being oppressed under communism, and it was funny because it's a joke. But like that's the thing. Like you can see anything in anything if you try hard enough.
Right.
So I just usually like it's not even a thing of I try not to. I just can't anymore. Like unless you beat me over the head, unless the game beats me over the head with it, I may not even notice what they're trying to go for. Which I like. That's the thing, though. I appreciate that Bioshock is told in a way where I can miss it, because if I notice what you're saying and you're being obnoxious about it, then I will just hate your product, regardless of the actual thing being said.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter if I agree with what you say or not. If you're being obnoxious about it and you're presenting it so hard that even I fucking notice it, there's problems. But yeah. So yeah, Bioshock also takes place under the sea. that was another thing that I didn't like personally, just because I like the sea is like space. It's it's kind of scary because we don't know what's in it.
Absolutely.
But there's a point where we don't have enough information for things to just like circle around, and like we don't know anything, so I don't know what to be scared of.
Absolutely.
And also just like water levels. For the first game doesn't have them, but they are bad. But then I kept on making the distinction, so I have also started playing Bioshock 2, and man, it's hard. It's really fucking hard to play Bioshock 2. So, Bioshock 2 is a game that did not need to exist, Like it just genuinely feels like that while I'm playing it.
Yeah.
Because Bioshock 2 is let's recycle the second half of the first, or not even the second half. Let's recycle the setting, some of the characters, and pretty much the gameplay structure of the ending of the last game. And just make that the whole game. Now,
All right then.
Bioshock 1 ends with you becoming a big daddy, which is a big like robot person, pretty much. Like they look like robots and they speak like robots, but they're actual people.
Oh.
But yeah, so you become one of them near the ending of the game, and then you do stuff, and you need to look out for the little sisters that the big daddies carry around, stuff like that. So the entirety of Bioshock 2 so far that I have played has been that, and in Bioshock 1, I didn't really feel the difficulty. Like I played these games on easy because I don't care about bullet sponges, and it felt like it when I tried playing the game on anything harder than easy, it felt like bullet sponges to me. You can probably make your build around it or stuff like that, but I just don't care enough. Like I'm here for the story of Bioshock, the game that is known for its story, not the thrilling challenge of Bioshock. And that's the thing. Like I play some games for the challenge because I play Contra sometimes and stuff like that. Like those games can be hard, I guess. Like they're not hard to me anymore because I played through Contra more times than I can count probably, and stuff like that. But like there is like sometimes I want a challenge and I will actually seek it out. But usually I just want to be like I just want to see your story. And if you fucked up balancing so hard that your game is unenjoyable and easy, the game probably has issues. Once again,
Yeah.
the freaking Devil May Cry does it the best. But it's some things are locked behind difficulty, so you're expected to play through the game on different difficulties. Like and I appreciate that. Anyway, Bioshock 2. Oh yeah, so the thing here is that in Bioshock 1, I never died because I was playing on easy, and I also was able to like keep my reserves up and stuff like that.
Ah.
Like it didn't feel like and the enemies felt was dangerous, but not too much. In Bioshock 2, okay, well, also in Bioshock 1, you play as just a normal dude, more or less. In Bioshock 2, you start playing as a big daddy.
Oh.
Yeah. So
That's different.
Talk about jumping the gun. Hey, here's the ending of the first game, and it's the whole game. But yeah. So in Bioshock 2, you start playing as a big daddy, and it feels like you take more damage than the guy who did not have, like, I don't know, like 15 centimeters thick aluminium strapped to his freaking chin, or his whole body, really. Like there's just these, like, basically they have like iron plated scuba suits. These people, they have big iron plated scuba suits, and it feels like I'm taking more damage than I did as the guy who was wearing a sweater. I am dying a lot more in that I have died at least twice before. And it feels like people complain about the difficulty of Bioshock 1, which, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But it feels like people complain about the difficulty of Bioshock 1, and then they went, okay, so now we make it hard. And there's just a scarcity of health refills, really. I mean, that's a hard one, really, to say that there's a scarcity of health refills, because it's not the actual thing that's scarce, it's your inventory space, because you can only carry 5 health refills with you at a time. And there are a lot of places where you can get health refills from, but if enough people crowd around you in a place where there is no health refill close by, then it feels like you don't actually have health refills, pretty much. And then what else is there really disappointing about Bioshock? The magic kind of sucks. I mean, it's
There's
imaginative.
magic in there?
Yes, Bioshock is an alternate history, I guess, game where in the 1950s people went down to Atlantis and made Rapture, which is an Art Deco. It's Art Deco Atlantis.
Right.
And then they also have steampunk technology like freaking the Big Daddies, and then also plasmids, which are I don't think they ever like properly scientifically explain. It's just, hey, they rewrite your DNA to do magic. Cool, in it.
Yeah.
And it's not horrible. Like, I've definitely seen worse magic systems just in video games in general. Like, I've seen worse magic systems in actual dedicated RPGs, which is bad. But at the same time, like the first game didn't really incentivize using magic. Infinite didn't really incentivize using magic. And I have played through Infinite before either of these ones, and one is probably the best because one story is actually at least good. Infinite is gameplay wise, I guess. Like, Infinite is the most realized of the bad consoles, pretty much. Partially because partially because you can rebind the keys, and then
oh yeah,
and then 2 so far just feels like it's a retread story wise. Like, it's just like W said this, I think, last week. I forget if it was on the podcast or if it was during Dead by Daylight, but they were talking about Bioshock with Mike, and he was like, he said, oh, Bioshock 2 is just hey, the other side of the argument in Bioshock 1 also sucked, which, yeah, it definitely feels like that. And then what else? There was something I wanted to point out about the story of 2. Oh yeah. Now, it may be because of the aforementioned ignoring some of the like political stuff that's going on with the story. But I don't know how, like, I just don't understand Andrew Ryan's position as much, especially because I guess you don't hear people who hold that position talk out as much now. Maybe, I don't know, and I've never plugged into those sorts of discussions really. But basically, Andrew Ryan is an anti-establishment capitalist, from what I understand. So like, so he's like he says like borderline communist stuff, and then he turns around and says those them commies, pretty much in 2. Or like, no, actually, he, like, I don't even know, because that's the thing. Like, I don't know what exactly puts these ideologies properly apart, I suppose. But he's like, the betterment of the people is good, except when it's done by the government, then it's bad, or something like that. I don't understand. Right. I don't understand their characterization of Andrew Ryan, because like in 1, I may have tuned him out too hard. I don't know. I tried to pay attention to what he was saying and why he might be saying it, but it was mostly just like it was mostly pointing fingers at the other antagonist of the game. So I didn't really get a whole lot of like, deep freaking conversations about why the world sucks in his opinion. It was just, the world sucks. Also, that guy also sucks, and so do you, player. But like, yeah, in the first one, he didn't seem as deep, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, he didn't seem as fringe as they make him come off in 2. Which maybe, like, that's the thing. He was close enough, so I can see how he got the way he is. I'm not sure if it's flanderization yet or not. but it feels a smidge inconsistent. So yeah, play Bioshock 1 if you want the definitive Bioshock story. Don't play any of the Bioshock games for the gameplay, probably. Maybe. I mean, there's some neat parts. There are some neat parts. It's just, like, if you bounce off the controls as hard as I did, you probably won't like it. Is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Oh right, hacking. That is one thing that Bioshock 2 has over one. That's the only thing Bioshock 2 has over one. So, in Bioshock 1, you remember those fight mini games? Or just games really in general? Of like having to lead the water, but it's flowing already?
Yeah.
That's how you hack in Bioshock 1.
Yep, I remember that.
In Bioshock 2, it's just timing based.
Oh.
There's this bar with colors on it. You want to stop it in the blue or the green, but not the red. That's it. There's also white, but I think white just makes it zap you.
Oof.
So yeah, I prefer twos just because I find twos easier. And if like I don't want to bother with the hacking, so it's good for me. I can see why people would prefer the first games because it was more engaging. But yeah, I don't know how I'll force myself to go through Bioshock 2 because it's just not being fun. But I want to finish it now because I'm probably like in the middle of the game, so I might as well. And then what else did I do? I make all of these drawings and then I forget them. Because they don't matter.
Irrelevant.
Yeah. But I suppose I did try to make another avatar because I'm not like the one I have right now. I made in 1 hour because I panicked. So I tried to make a better one because I didn't really like it, and I'm not sure if it's better. Wait, I'll put it into logos so I can quickly repost it if it's good. I don't know. What do you think?
There we go. It looks nice.
But I mean, is it better?
Is it better than your previous one?
Yeah, the current one.
Yeah, I think so.
Are the eyes not too far apart?
They look fine to me.
All right. That's the only thing that I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I just looked over to OBS and I freaked out because I was like, oh shit, am I not recording?
No.
I am, so it's fine.
That's a relief.
Yeah. But yeah, after that little panic, yeah, I think that's all I've done. Oh yeah, no, one last thing. Yes. So just today, I have received, and which means I haven't read through it yet completely, but I have received yet another comic compilation.
Nice.
This one is my favorite superhero, the Winter Soldier. Yay!
Ah, yeah.
I know literally nothing about Bucky. Which I mean, like this is good though because like getting this compilation means that I will actually be able to know who the fuck he is.
True.
But yeah, I've read his origin story. Like the question mark because I like it felt like a way too like recent of a comic to be his actual origin story, but they put it in that slot, so maybe.
Well, Winter Soldier is actually a pretty fairly recent character to begin with, because everybody kind of knows Bucky. He died, or they killed him off, probably in the 50s, early 60s at latest. But he was one of the characters who they said would stay dead forever, and he wasn't brought back as the Winter Soldier until 2005 or 6, maybe. So actually, very fairly recent, which is remarkable because obviously the character itself has already made quite an impact on comics media as a whole. He's already had a movie titled The Winter Soldier at this point, which I cannot think of a character introduced beyond 2000 that has kind of had that same impact. Granted, he was already a character beforehand, way back in the 1940s, but he's really he's a kind of a anomaly in that he was a character that was just a sidekick and was killed off way back when, and then got brought back and was immediately thrust into the limelight. So yeah, actually fairly recent.
All right, yeah. Then I guess the freaking the year of the comic like about right, I'd say, because I was like, this looks like less than Spider-Man era, but at the same time, this is pre Ultimate Ultimate Verse, because Nick Fury is not black yet.
Yep.
That's the only way I can tell if it's pre or post Ultimate Verse. If is Nick Fury black? Yes or no?
That's what you got to do now, yeah.
But yeah, I've only read his origin comic as of yet, because they have 6 comics, I want to say, and one of them is the one Captain America issue where they introduced him as the Winter Soldier, and then the rest is the Bitter March.
Ah,
I don't know if you know that storyline. I haven't read it yet, so
I know the title of it. I couldn't tell you which one it is off the top of my head.
all right. Yeah, I haven't read it yet because I haven't had the time. Like genuinely today, I didn't have a lot of time apparently. But
Right,
hey,
right.
but yeah, the origin comic was fine. I mean, like it wasn't bad. I just don't know a lot of the characters involved because I don't really read Captain America. So
Yeah,
it was fun trying to figure
yeah.
out who.
He's.
Yeah,
I was about to say, Cap definitely has a very large cast of characters, especially just in Shield alone. That can get kind of confusing if you're not fully aware of all the going ons with that series.
yeah. Now I wonder though, are they going to put Captain Hydra into the recommended?
Oh no, that would be bad.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell how bad that run was. That I stopped reading comics because of it, and I'm still salty. Like I stopped.
Eh,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I can't blame you. I stopped reading comics well before that, but I'm salty about it.
Yeah, you stopped reading comics before, but I got into reading comics in like 28. Like I got into reading the current comics in 2018 to try and actually be able to like comment on stuff with you guys, and then
Right.
there was ongoing the freaking the one good Deadpool run so far, and suddenly Captain Hydra happens, and I read like, I don't know. I think I read 2 Captain Hydra Deadpool comics, and then I just waited until that storyline stopped, and then I saw that Deadpool didn't really work anymore because the Captain Hydra shit.
hmm
That it wasn't 2018. When was the new 52 disbanded? Like when did they switch over to having the new universe?
Oh, actually, I'm not entirely sure. I want to say 2017, maybe, but that might be. How long did that? New 52, if I'm recalling correctly, didn't last too long, actually, less than a decade. So I would place my money.
I mean,
So I
I
think that
got
was
into
2011. I'd
I mean,
place my money somewhere on 2016, 2017.
I don't think it was 2016, 2017 though, because like I started reading the current comics at the time that New 52 was on its end, and they start up the new universe. So people like New 52 stuff was still coming to a halt, and the actual the current canon universe of DC was starting to get established.
Ah, let me actually Google that. When did the New 52 end?
Which instead of actually reading the comics anymore, if I want to take a peek into what current storylines are going on because they're all bad, there's a guy I found on YouTube who basically just does summaries of whatever plot is going on with like a couple of pictures so he won't get copyright struck by Marvel.
Eh,
And it's really funny because he keeps like it's funny how different people's tastes can be because the guy obviously knows his stuff when it comes to comics and stuff like that. And then he starts like nerding out over freaking like symbiote god Venom, and I'm just no, that actually kind of sucks, you know. Like that's kind of missing the character of Venom, in my opinion.
yeah. Hey,
Which
Google keeps telling me May 2015 is when the New 52 came to an end, but I felt like it went a little bit longer than that.
I guess it might have been 2016, 2017. Then holy shit. But no, it had to have been one of the late like one of the more recent years because I was posting stills from on the Discord.
Yeah, very confusing. I don't know. It's
I mean,
DC. I'll just assume we're making that canon now.
yeah, I'm just scrolling through the thing and trying to freaking see when was the last time I actually posted about comics when I actually read it. It's been a while. Holy shit. I like how I posted the cover for Marvel Zombies Resurrection with the title No. I feel like it summarizes the just that idea though pretty well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was 2019. There we
Oh
go.
man, that wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, I apparently read 2016 comics in 2019, and then I quit because they sucked so much. Which I mean, yeah.
Understandable.
Anyway, so yeah, I liked how Bucky's origin story didn't really like introduce him. That was my favorite part of that comic. Which I mean, it's fair because it was a Captain America comic, but it like Bucky I think shows up in the first couple panels. Then he shows up as a flashback to Cap, like him dying,
Mm-hmm.
and after that he shows up for another 4 panels, and then the comic ends. And 6 of those panels that I just described is him sitting on a rooftop aiming at Captain America with a sniper rifle.
Yeah, that sounds like Captain America.
So yeah, We'll see how much I'll like him as a character. Maybe he'll grow on me. I mean, I say maybe he'll grow on me like I dislike him, but when really in reality I just actually don't know what's up with him yet.
Right.
But yeah, and that's all I've done. So I suppose we can call this a podcast.
All right. I like it. Nice, simple hour-long podcast. Very, very nice. Very good.
Yep. Well, bye. They didn't say bye.
Bye.